everyone. Welcome to our second episode for the Earth 118 podcast. I'm Vivian, here with Jasmine Paige Moore.
Hello. Are you saying my full name now because of the thing I put on? You considerate heifer.
No, I'm being considerate.
That was very considerate. But however, it wasn't so much as, and if you guys follow me, you get it, but like it wasn't so much of the Jasmine, the more aspect I'm not too concerned about. It's the Jasmine, like my name is Jasmine Paige. That is my first name. Yes, technically Paige is my middle name, but my name is Jasmine Paige. Like that.
Hey, names right now are relevant considering in this episode She-Hulk got her name.
Wow, I'm so proud of you.
I did that?
I'm so proud of you.
Although she had no control over her name.
Clearly, I have no control over mine either. If, people very easily will just disregard. Like, I could send in my brief and say, hey, this is me. And they'll be like, yeah, I don't want to put that whole thing on a card. This is what you are now. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, shit. Why did I even bother? Just, I'm sorry that I am such an inconvenience, those 5 extra letters.
Right. I know. I mean, hey, you have to stand up for yourself, and you did, and you do, so.
I don't know if that necessarily means I'm standing up for myself or just like explaining something that bothered me. Mm-hmm. I feel like we will see come the next Getty image or the next event, whether or not, because I didn't even realize that it was a thing until it kept happening consistently. Mm-hmm. So I think it's more of a conversation with my manager about like, hey bro, can you know
my name?
Do you even know who I am?
Yeah. So. But no, that's important. It's part of your identity, so it should be correct.
Exactly. Especially when I've got so many other Jasmine Moores that are so prolific. One is an Olympic athlete, an award-winning first of her stature, and the first ever of multiple things. Jasmine Moore, like how the
At least you guys are in a similar category.
I guess.
No.
Of excelling? No, she kicks my ass. She can have Jasmine Moore. That is her name. I will never in this lifetime compete with that. Again, multiple, I was the first 2s. So
at least at least you've got Jasmine Paige, and that's the point.
Yes, that is truly the point, that I cannot compete, therefore I have to create my own category.
Which is okay.
But anywho,
all that to say, Vivian and Jasmine Paige talking about She-Hulk episode 2, which this one is titled Superhuman Law, and we get to learn a little bit more about the Superhuman Law division that is introduced into the MCU now, do we learn about it more? Is that what
That's literally what you say. We get to learn more about it, and I was like, when did we know that it exists?
Maybe we don't necessarily learn about it, but it is introduced. We know who's running it, and we know that She-Hulk is now there and is one of the first people part of it. Aside from Pug, her coworker, who I think he's great. He had his gift basket and everything.
He did nothing. He is just
a gift basket.
He is a brown noser and nothing more. I
don't know. When you compare him to the other coworker she had at the other law firm, who basically said that she's a nepotism baby, and that is where her powers came from. Pug.
I'm not disputing that. I'm only saying that the secondary characters right now, especially her best friend, I see them only as plot devices. I don't think that either one of them are full-fledged characters. And can we have the villain back, please?
Titania?
Yes, Titania. Am I like the fairy? Like the 4 kids in the woods, the Shakespeare. What the hell? Midsummer Night's Illusions Dream.
Yes, she is from Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yes.
That's something I was also wanted to make a topic, because we get her and she's introduced in the first episode, so we assume, okay, this is our villain for the season, and then she's very much kind of mentioned at the beginning and then shoved away because
What was I talking to about this? I was talking to this about someone. I think that this is similar to Flyboy and Metal Arm, where we think that Carly is the bad guy, but really there's a bigger bad guy, which obviously is anti-Captain America. And I think that that's what's going to happen here, especially given that in this episode we saw her taking over Abomination's case, and of course we know that he's got a huge history with Bruce Banner, i.e., well, in his mind, he's got a history with Hulk, not with Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
However, I am predicting, and of course you've got 2 more episodes ahead of me, but I am predicting, as I think I said this last episode, that Titania's gonna need Jennifer. She's gonna come to her and be like, oh God, I've got some best friends. Like, I know that that's gonna happen. I don't want it to happen, but I feel like that's inevitably what's gonna happen.
I feel like that would contradict who her character is, because she's known for being like very, what's the word, like jealous, I guess, jealous of Jen, or jealous of She-Hulk, I should say, because Titania's whole thing is that she is like very envious and wants power and is greedy, and so she when in comic book world, when she sees that She-Hulk is the like strongest woman, she's like, no, that has to be me. And so her whole thing is, I need to beat her just so I can be better than her. And I think it's funny that in the show they call her the super influencer, because like I think that's just, if you were to take this comic book version of Titania and turn her into something modern, I think that's what it would be. Is super influencer, wants to be the best, wants to be above all.
I was also watching something recently, and they were talking about it was just some quick clip of this guy being like, I wanted to research power in the US, and the way to do that obviously is to have money. So if you Google who has the most money, you'll see, Steve Jobs, you'll see Mark Zuckerberg. And at first I was like, oh, a bunch of white people, but he was like, no, these just aren't people who are doctors, lawyers, etc. These are people outside of that field who did something, who didn't do the college route, who didn't study their entire lives, who did not do that traditional route that we talk about all the dream, the American dream. You go to school for 17 years, you get a good job, and depending on how much education you
life right now, as I
right. But that's what I'm saying. It's like we were fed this idea of what it meant to be powerful and to have wealth and to have success. Come to find out, the most successful people in this world, like Titania, chose a different route. And I 100% agree with you. You don't need to. Power isn't what we thought it was anymore. Power is something untangible. It could be as intangible as social media, but if you look at the world today, some of the greatest people, whether they should have that power or not, the Charlie D'Amelio's, what the hell is that guy who's now like a boxer, and I know
who you're talking about. His name escapes me.
Thank God. He's a piece of poo. We shouldn't have him on the forefront anyway. But anyway, it's a twin brother or something. I don't know.
Logan Paul?
Oh, but one of them, the Logan or the other one, I don't know. But him, they have so much power from the same thing Titania had, but is it in the right hands?
Yeah.
So just all that to say, I agree with you.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
It doesn't happen often.
I'm prepared for that.
It doesn't happen often, but it was I agree.
I am curious. Like, I want to know what business she had in that courtroom, though, because She-Hulk was not.
They said that she had like traffic, like some traffic issue. They said it in the speech when they were like, oh, Titania, she was there for like a traffic ticket or whatever, and it just got out of hand, and she got upset and into the other room. Dumb influencer shit. She probably walked in there and thought that her name alone would get her out of the ticket, and the judge was like, haha, I'm gonna make an example out of you, superhero. And she was like, nah. No.
So then I'm gonna take it as, okay, that's the case. I missed that she was there for a traffic stop or a traffic ticket.
Something trivial, or parking, like something very trivial.
Yeah, and if she was high-tempered and reacted, and then She-Hulk comes out of nowhere, not expecting this oversized, buff woman at all, and is now introduced to her, I think that's where it's going to be like, wait a second, why? Now she's getting all the publicity, she's in the media, I want to top that.
Well, that just really depends on what the point was. I can't imagine that when she walked in there, she knew she was going to throw a chair into the next room. So what does it matter if someone else has the bigger pie? Like that, if I were an influencer, I wouldn't want the world to know that I had a traffic ticket or that I was there for that. I think, if anything, I'm not upset that she has more press and publicity than me. I would be more upset that because of you deciding to stop me, now everybody knows that I got some shit and I'm probably like, you're up here and my public image has gone down. That's really where I would be most concerned, is you've messed up my public image. But also she threw a chair. Did we think that wasn't gonna, I don't know. It's all very confusing.
Yeah. See, so far you predict that Titania is gonna need She-Hulk, or is gonna come to her to team
Of course she's gonna need her. This is basic storytelling.
I think she's gonna try to be her. I think she's gonna try to like emulate what She-Hulk is in her own way, and it's just gonna go wrong. It's my prediction. That's what's
prediction, or is this you doing your best not to spoil the next 2 episodes?
That's what's on my bingo card.
I feel like your bingo card has a little bit more of an advantage than mine does, but stop Debbie rioting.
I'm not. I'm scratching behind my ear.
Who has an itch behind their ear? I need to stop doing that. I'm doing that podcasting thing where it's like everything is so crazy and big. Did you ever see that TikTok of like the girl making fun of just podcasts in general? And it's like, say you said something incorrect, or like your little, oh God, you said something weird the other day, the chiffon, how you could not pronounce chiffon, or you said it family-esque. I'm not going to say wrong because I understand you learned it from your family how to pronounce it, so it's fine. However, there's a TikTok of like whenever a co-host says something incorrect and they're like, chiffon? Saffron? She said saffron, like to extend the, that's what I feel like I do sometimes on this.
That's not even, I don't even think that's singular to or just specifically to podcasts. That's like high school lunch, cafeteria. You say one thing wrong, the entire cafeteria knows because of the one friend sitting next to you.
That's so annoying. I pray to never be that way. Suffice it to say, I feel like that is Titania. I feel like Titania would walk into like a conversation with Jennifer, especially given like how Jennifer is, and be like, She-Hulk? You let them name you She-Hulk? Do you not, like, would go off? Meanwhile, Jennifer's like, I just wanted to know what you wanted for lunch. Like, that's all I came here to ask.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to see those two come together. I'm just, I don't know. This episode was so short. Oh, can I ask a quick question?
Yes. Go for it.
When the big spoiler of this episode, the big thing, the article or website, whatever.
Okay, the Easter egg?
Yeah, the Easter egg. Can I just say, I get what everyone thinks it is now, but I watched this exhausted at 12:30 in the morning. Why was my ass like, what is Doc Ock doing in a bar? Like,
okay, for those of you who didn't catch the Easter egg, because I actually didn't realize, I didn't see it in the show. I saw it on Twitter. But there is an Easter egg when, and we'll plug it in, maybe.
I will. I can plug it in.
There's an Easter egg when Jen is kind of scrolling through the, surfing the web. There's an article, and on the side, you know how there's always, like, more article, like, links to other articles to click on? There was one headlined, man with claws gets in bar fight, or something like that. It
was a guy with metal claws, or, like, bar fight something.
Here it is man fights with metal claws in bar brawl.
Bro, tell me that's not Doc Ock. I heard claws. He literally has metal claws. I don't know. My mind literally went to Doc Ock and his metal claws.
Mine went straight to Wolverine.
Damn. I know I'm a party of one. I have no doubt in my soul I'm the only one that was like, Doc Ock doesn't.
No, when you say it, like now that you mention it, I'm like, you know what? That fits the title. He fits the description. That could work.
A man with metal claws. I don't know. And I feel like, stop. Wait. I get it. The X-Men are coming. We all know this. But can we just stick with whom we already have?
Yeah.
Why can't it be? And it makes more sense because Otto Octavius is part of Madam Web's whole thing, like with our granddaughter, and so it makes more sense for this universe to set up Doc Ock. I'll spin webs.
Well, this
I'll find the connections.
You're like that one picture right now.
Aliens.
But Madam Web is also set in a completely separate universe timeline, Earth.
Like that matters.
I know it doesn't matter anymore, but just like continuity-wise in regards to like this specific article.
Fuck it. The Wolverine Logan is not here yet. He's not part of our universe.
Yeah, that's true. Which is also like now I'm confused because, or not confused, but my curiosity is piqued because yes, we know the X-Men are coming. It was alluded to in Multiverse of Madness and in Miss Marvel, and now we have this article, but it's also like I thought if they were going to bring the X-Men back, they were not going to touch Wolverine anymore, and this is 100%.
Well, no, that may just be them touching Wolverine. This may be the only thing that we get is allusions and little on the sides. Like we may not ever get Logan, despite the numerous top 40 Maxim men who have demanded, I want it next. Like, I get it. However, it's okay to put characters to rest. It's okay to allow new characters to shine. I mean, hell, we got Iron Man because of that. But now it's time to do a new children's census group with a new group of toys and see what they pick next.
I would still want to know though, like if that were the case, and this is them poking at, here you go, Wolverine exists, he's walking around, he's getting into bar fights, then where would that set the timeline up? Because to me, there's just like no way you have the X-Men and then Wolverine is not a part of it.
I disagree. There's been several occasions by which Logan is and is not a part of it, and in fact, Logan is a nomad. That man is in, and nothing matters anymore. Logan in this timeline could have died in the Civil War, like, or he could have never gotten his medal. Like, well, not in this one, because clearly if we're going off of Logan versus like, nothing matters and everything matters. This is everything everywhere all at once, okay? All of it.
Basically anything is up for not up for grabs, but like
interpretation and manipulation. It's everything.
Underneath that Easter egg, there was another one. There was another little description. I don't know if you read that one, but
I read them all. Okay.
But why is there a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean? I could not figure that out.
That's the Eternals. That's the what's his face.
Yeah.
And it's been funny because again on TikTok there's so many people like, how come there's been so, I'm doing that like nerdy, but how come there's been so many like Marvel movies and no one's talking about this giant statue in the middle of the ocean? Bruh!
There you go.
Because it's just commonplace now. It just is. We gotta talk about it at every Sunday brunch. It's beautiful.
I know that
visits.
I know that She-Hulk isn't technically, like, by definition of what meta is, She-Hulk isn't technically meta because it's just existing within the universe it's acknowledging. But I feel like this is the most meta that a MCU show or TV or movie has been, and I enjoy it.
I would argue, in a way, no, I guess WandaVision's more kitschy than meta-ish. Well, I guess no, because what's her face? Agatha. Agatha's whole song was meta. It was basically about breaking the fourth wall. It was me all along. Nah, Agatha. Okay, Agatha was the most meta. Well, not the most, but the first.
Was the first. They did it first. WandaVision did it. WandaVision was the first.
I say that, and there's probably been like 100 other people before her. Just all of them.
In the MCU specifically?
Probably. I'm sure every time I say that they were the first, I think of like numerous other ones that actually were the first.
It happens. But when we come to that realization, we will admit to our faults.
One of us will.
But for now, we assume what we assume.
We assume what we assume. We hope what we hope. I don't really know what else to gather from it. I like that Bruce had quote unquote closure-ish. He got a nice letter and a haiku. I thought that was cute. I hope eventually we will get that book of poetry. Because I think that would be really cute. The haiku.
From Abomination?
I would love that. And if he doesn't do it, I'll do it. I will write a... It'd have to be thick. He's been in there for a few years.
I was gonna say, you're gonna write a haiku to every single one of the people, every single person he's wronged.
It's only what? It's a 343 or 357 375.
Yeah.
575. What the hell is it?
I should know this. I studied it, but
what is a haiku? What is a haiku? I think of haiku. I'm thinking like haiku. Haiku. I can't spell it.
353. 5'7".
5'7". Okay.
Ah, haha.
5'7". I can do that. I can write 5'7". I think the Hulks will have to be the deepest though.
Well, he already got his.
Syllables. I am sorry, Hulk. I knew not what I did then. Please forgive me, sir. Beautiful poetry. There you have it, poetry.
That's what it was. That you heard it here first, guys.
Buy it, sell it, market it. Anyway, is there anything else from this episode that you feel was really poignant and that we should bring up, especially leading into the third episode?
I mean, leading into the third episode, and this isn't spoiler at all because it literally is set up.
Liar!
No, it's set up at the end of this one. It goes into like the whole case with Abomination and that's basically going to be.
I have a question. Do you think she should have taken that case?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
I say no. I say absolutely fruity tooty not. I think that it was. Okay. I'm like opening up a whole nother topic. And I'm sorry, I'm blowing my nose. Again, cat got neutered today, so there's hair abound, just abound. Any hoodle. When he was like, Sister Mary Mo, you got to take this case or you got to go. I thought she was gonna be like, fuck it. I've got notoriety now. I've got fame. I've got status. This is the She-Hulk I would write. Is he gives her that ultimatum, and especially her walking in there and him being like, oh, by the way, this, what you got going on, this shit, can you elevate, upgrade? I can't have you walking in here in anything other than Emerald City Green. You know, I would have been like, that's strike one. Walking up and having the entire place be predominantly men. I didn't see another, I'm sorry. There was one other lawyer, female lawyer, who gave her shitty looks. That would have been number two.
In the law firm, in the office?
In the office, yeah, she made a point of that, of when she was making her speech about now everyone else is going to think the only reason I got this job is because I happen to be a sideshow act. Yeah. That's already strike 2 and 3. But when he told me either I take this case or I have to go, I'd be like, okay, thank you for your time. I'm going to go. Because clearly you don't care about me as an individual and me as my work skill. You only care about me as my imagery. So fuck you. I'm going to start my own firm. Yeah. Period. Point blank, period. That's what I would do. And I thought that that's where She-Hulk was going to go, which would then lead to Titania, who, again, no other person is going to want her. I would assume at that point that that's when Titania would come to her and be like, well, no other firm is going to take my case. Like, obviously, you.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like you're going to care about a conflict of interest. It's your own firm. Yeah. Just represent me.
I don't know. I think it made sense for her to take the case, considering how much we saw her basically going through that inner struggle of, I just did something that I thought was good and now I'm being punished for it. No one is hiring me. Oh wait, now I'm being offered this job. I think given the situation she was in and the, like, basically the circumstances we saw that she felt she was in, it made sense for me that she would take this case.
It would make sense to me, and I know that is a path, but I started this journey with She-Hulk understanding that she was a woman who knew she was in a man's world and did everything possible to elevate herself beyond that. And she knew that she was a woman who had to prove herself. So now that I have this She-Hulk, I'm not just one woman anymore. I am a super powered woman. So let me slowly but surely take on that not responsibility, but that understanding. And maybe this is the first step of me coming into not only my identity, but my self-worth. Yeah. And so I just, she's been diminished and had people talk down to her always and forever. So I just would have liked that first step into it. And she just kind of diminished back. She just let a man tell her what to do yet again. And I don't want to wait 10 episodes for her to find herself.
I was going to say that's something I would like to see eventually, is her coming, like, the idea of her starting her own law firm, because thinking like, you know what, I need somewhere where I can just establish myself and confidently practice what I want to do without someone constantly telling me that I'm not doing it right or that they could do it better than me. Then yeah, that would make sense for her to just start her own law firm, similar to like how Daredevil did.
Yeah.
But I think that where she is mentally and how she sees herself, she is struggling to see that she is capable of that. But I think maybe with having this She-Hulk as part of her now and feeling that empowered. Like, she felt empowered before as she was as a lawyer, and I think that She-Hulk is going to help her find a different type of empowerment within herself that maybe she didn't realize she had yet. And that's
slow, for me, it's a slow burn, and I'm not kind of over those stories. And that's just me personally. You don't have to agree with me. I find a much more compelling story that I have this, yes, I struggled, yes, I don't like it, but we did that in the first 2 to 3 episodes. I want her to have that law firm. I think that her helping others like Abomination, who clearly no one gives a fuck about, and the government clearly used it. Like, I want to hear those stories, and we have a unique opportunity with She-Hulk, this superpowered lawyer, that we get to hear both sides of the argument, their side, your side, and the truth. Like, we have that now. So those stories I care more about. You know, those are the stories that are interesting to me. I don't want this one note story of, I am a weak woman when I'm human, but I'm a super woman when I'm a superhero. But how do I blend those two worlds together? We've had that with every Marvel character. Is how do I go from, it's the Spider-Man trope. How do I be Peter Parker and Spider-Man? I'm over it. Not over it. I've had it. I've had that. I've tasted that. I'm just used to that. Give me something new.
Yeah.
Sorry. I went on a rant again.
No, that's okay. Because I can agree with a lot of the points that you're making, because it's a story that it's a formula that we have followed for a lot of different characters. When we've had this conversation, but like I'm someone who will take it with new character,
take what I get.
Similar formula, I will still eat it up and be here for it. But I do like seeing it from her perspective, and you said something earlier where we keep seeing her kind of make herself small again, and that is something that is now taken quite literally, because like we even saw there was a scene in the episode where she's at the bar, and she's She-Hulk form, and her boss is is looking up at her and very clearly feels kind of like, you can't be up there when I'm having a serious conversation with you.
It's happened 3 times in this episode. It was when she had to transform for her boss, she had to transform for the police officers when she went to the prison, and then she had to transform for her new boss. No form is good enough, and every single time, you can read into it however you want, but every time it's a man telling her, this is not what I want. Change into what I want. You know, and it's frustrating. At what point is she going to say, this is who I am right now? I'm choosing what I want.
And I think that's the journey that we're on and that we're watching unfold. And I understand that you are saying, well, we've already seen this story. We already know how it's going to unfold and where we're going to end up. But I guess it's just a matter of, okay, well, now we have to watch this in order to understand where She-Hulk is going to end up.
Again, I'm being told I'm being told by the men of Marvel, this is, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a sexist thing, but I'm being told once again, this is what it needs to be. This is what you have. You have no other options. And I don't. So I either accept it or I move on, or I do what I'm doing now and just complain.
Yeah.
So, anywho, that's all I've got on this episode.
There was, I would say this was a fairly short episode, and the main points were she gets fired, Titania is on the loose, and she is now taking Emil Blonsky's case, which then also ties into Shang-Chi, so that'll be interesting to see how it unfolds and comes together, and whether or not it's going to delve any deeper.
It will, or it won't. I don't know. We don't have choices.
Well, I wanted to start a new little series on our podcast because I'm a cheesy person. No, I want to do a quote of the week from each episode, because there's always something that I leave with that I'm like, that was so wholesome, I'm going to get that tattooed on my body.
Fuck, no, don't do that.
I'm not going to anymore. The WandaVision one was the last, hopefully. No, but because last week's episode, they left us with that message, not left us, but there was that message of a good time, or a good day during a hard time, or something like, it was something similar to that, and I forget. And I just thought that was really wholesome, because it can resonate with a lot of people, where you can go through a hard time, but there are those good moments that you have to look forward to that keep people, pushing. And there was a very similar quote in this episode when the dad checks in with her in the garage, and she's stressing out about everything, but he kind of pulls her back and reminds her, like, hey, the thing that you were dreading, it happened, but you're still standing, and now you can keep moving forward. And I just thought that's there's those little messages intertwined within all of these TV shows where it's just like a lot of people who watch these, they try to find meaning in these characters and these episodes, and that is something I found meaning in because it's a message that I need to hear sometimes. So I am going to choose a quote from each episode if you would like to join me.
No, I will find my own little game. I think that one is wholly and totally yours, but I appreciate it and I'm looking forward to the next ones.
Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, I think that's all we have for now. Let us know. Actually, I want to know, do you think she should have taken the case? Again, we don't have a choice, but let us know in the comments below what you would have done in that instance, and do you think it was right and proper for Bruce to forgive him? Yeah.
If you also had a quote that you resonated with or found wholesome, let us know in the comments that as well. But until then, we will see you guys or talk to you guys next week for episode 3.
Yeah. Talk to you then. Bye.
We